Big delay this evening, but that's okay. What's up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome back to another episode of the What the Fanboy podcast. I suppose, to be on brand, I should have started the podcast by saying, hello there.
Oh, what a missed opportunity.
I know, right? Oh, Luke's behind his photo. Why is Luke behind his photo? Here, hold on. We get this fixed. There we go.
Oh, there he is.
Now we see him. Yep, so Skyping in tonight, all the way from the East Coast.
From Florida.
Luke Zelke, how's it going, man?
It's going good. I'm like 100 feet from the ocean or something.
Dude, I'm a little jealous. We had some water nearby via local thunderstorms, but nothing as calming as the ocean.
Yeah, it actually rained a little bit ago.
Oh, nice.
It'll probably rain every day while you're down there.
There's definitely a chance every day.
Yeah. About how it goes in Florida.
We're always getting warnings on our phone.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
That is how it goes. Well, I mentioned Luke, but to my left here, Tyler Davis.
It is I.
He is ready to rock.
We're
all ready to rock.
There's a lot of stuff to talk about this week.
I was going to say, let's not dilly-dally. Let's go ahead and jump right into our weekly recaps. Luke, since you have the most exotic location, have traveled this week, have traveled to the coolest place. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've been up to?
Well, I went with Florida for the week.
Oh boy.
Oh no. And we've lost Luke. Oh no. All right. Well, while we try and get Luke back on the line, Tyler, why don't you go ahead and tell us about your week?
Well, other than tonight, hearing every third word of Luke all of a sudden, which is really weird because it worked all the way up until we started recording. It's going to sound terrible, but I've done the things that we're going to talk about. That's pretty much it.
There's nothing wrong with doing the assignment. There's no extra credit points here.
Yeah, no. I mean, I watched the first 5 episodes of Stranger Things, season 4.
Yep.
I watched the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I watched Top Gun. And that's pretty much it. Other than that, I spent a lot of time with family and just relaxed a lot this 3-day weekend.
Nice. All right. Good.
Am I back?
You're back.
You're back.
He's back. This is going to be an awesome stream. I cannot wait to watch
it. Whoever is on Twitch right now watching this, or on watching the replay on YouTube, Luke's face is currently smaller, but sitting above a picture of him that we took earlier.
This is
technology, man.
This is the most What the Fanboy episode of What the Fanboy we'll ever record.
I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way.
This is what I live.
Yeah, this is great.
All right. Well,
Luke's back now.
Luke's back. You had cut out just as you were starting to tell us about your week. So give us your weekly recap again.
My parents asked me if I want to go to Florida, and I said, "Yep."
Good call. Good call.
But I was not missing this episode because we're reviewing some really awesome stuff. But before I left, I did do something, which was play the new season of Destiny.
Yeah.
That launched. Season of the Haunted. The Leviathan's back. And Solar 3.0 has been introduced. And I don't know where Brett's at with everything, but overall, I feel like I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
The activity is kind of fine. It's gonna get old really quick. And I probably, everybody else is already tired of it, but I haven't gotten to play as much. I think the story is really good,
Yes.
which honestly is the best thing. If the story's good, then I'll be happy. Um, Me and Lepke did go into the dungeon on Friday night, just for a bit, kind of poke around. Went into the first encounter and kind of started to figure it out, but then it was super late, so we got off. Um, but I'm excited to do that um, with you guys, with you, Brett and Lepke. That'll be a lot of fun.
I am very excited as well.
The mechanic that we first kind of started is really cool, and I've been hearing really good things about the dungeon, so I'm hyped for that. But the big release really is Solar 3.0, which honestly was, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of all over the place. I think there's some really cool stuff and some other stuff that just really left you wanting.
Some of the builds that I've seen out there are really interesting, but require very specific play styles. Like I
Right.
found one for my warlock that is, I love it, but it's just because it requires me to use an exotic that I love already and
Mhm.
a play style that I'm already pretty accustomed to. I got lucky.
Yeah. For Titans, it's the middle tree bonk Titan
Mm-hmm.
with the little mini hammer, and it was fun to do in the old system, but it was kind of a meme, and I feel like it's just get old so quick.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't played on Hunter because Hunter's the worst. F Hunters. But I feel like Warlocks and Titans just got so much removed that it's just really a big letdown. And I mean, I need to play with it more.
Yeah.
But so far, Seasonal Haunted has kind of left me pretty underwhelmed. I still love Destiny. I'll never quit playing.
It's interesting because the strategy this season was, try and keep as much secret, which there's no expectations, but there's also like high, because there's no expectations, there's high expectations.
Yeah,
And
and I might have a hot take on that actually. I don't think it was secrecy. I think it was damage control. Um, I think they knew that some people were going to be upset that a lot of stuff was getting removed.
mm,
Like Warlocks lost two play styles entirely, which was a heal lock,
yeah.
and bottom tree. Everything from bottom tree is gone.
Yeah.
Which, ironically, whenever I play Warlock, I play one of those too. Um, it just makes me not want to play Warlock, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then Titans lost Melting Point. We lost Sun Warrior. We still have Roaring Flames, but it's good. And some people are like, "What the heck are they talking about with all this?" And I should probably cut it short, but it's just an interesting choice to take Solar, you know.
Yeah.
But hopefully, I'll figure out a build that will make it fun.
Yeah.
But
You will. You'll get there. I'm sure. I'm sure of
we'll get
it.
there. I love Destiny too much to uh,
You know what's
just
the
go
silver
off into
lining here,
things I
Luke? The
dislike.
silver lining for you, which because I'm gonna have to force myself to try something new. The silver lining for you is you're gonna get the opportunity to really craft and mess around with a whole bunch of builds, and I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to tear myself away from this one thing that I really love doing in order to try different and figure out different strategies. Or if there's another build that's really good, I'll be like, but this one's good enough.
Yeah.
So
And I mean, they did add like the snap for Warlocks is freaking awesome.
yeah.
Lets you be Colonel Mustang from Full Metal Alchemist, which is the coolest thing that they could have added. And Titans have the new slide melee, which I think buffed. Honestly, I don't think it's good enough in PvP.
Mm.
PvP, it might be a little too strong.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's good, there's bad. We'll see where it goes. I just don't nerf Thunder Crash. Don't do it for our 3.0. I will be so. But that's really the only thing I did
Okay.
besides Kenobi and Top Gun. I'll let you guys.
All right. Well, then I'll get into my weekly recap real quick. I did a lot, but I'll try and go fast. I beat a single player game, guys.
I don't believe you. Don't believe you.
I'll pull up
Yay.
my
Don't let him kick you
achievement.
in.
Yay, Brett.
So over on Game Pass, the Jurassic World Evolution 2 came to Game Pass a couple weeks ago. So I sat down and kind of powered through the campaign mode of that.
All 2 hours of it.
It was like 6 to 8. That's respectable. It's fun. If you like sim games, theme park games, I think, Zoo Tycoon or whatever. Like this is a really fun evolution of that style of game in the Jurassic Park universe. And it was really fun to not just be on an island or like feel like constrained by an island. Like you go out into Utah and it's like, we're with the animal rescue group and we have park rangers and we have to set up these, containment facilities. So it was really neat little campaign. And then of course, as soon as I did that, I went into creative mode and with unlimited money and built a actual like big park. Just spared no expense, as John Hammond would say.
How many workers did you get killed?
I don't think I lost any workers in that one.
Oh, that's crazy.
Kind of Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Park.
So my second one was a inverted park. So I made a little safe zone for people and workers, and I just let all of the dinosaurs out into the same big open area, and it was chaos.
That's awesome. Did they all kill each other?
Yes, they all killed each other.
I love
Who
that.
came out on top?
You basically made a Jurassic World battle royale.
Yeah. Yep.
Love
Yep.
Love
The Raptors, they do really well, especially if you have a solid pack of them. The genetic one, like the ones like the Indoraptor and the Indominus Rex, they are hyper aggressive, but because they're so hyper aggressive, they don't ever like take time to heal. So they actually died faster than I anticipated, but they got a lot of kills. The T-Rex was, of course, she was queen. It took
Queen.
she lasted a long time. So, anyways, that was a lot of fun. I give that game a fanboy worthy. If you like those games, it's on Game Pass. If you've got that, otherwise, obviously, you can buy it wherever.
And now the next step, Control.
You can finish Control. Yes.
Please finish Control.
Yes, I will do. It's on my list. I watched a couple movies this week. Sonic 2 is Sonic the
More
Hedgehog with a couple more characters. I think a blessing and a curse of the first one was just James Marsden and like that interaction. James Marsden carried that movie on his shoulders, and unfortunately, at the same time, like I didn't think that chemistry was that good between the two of them. And this one, they like separate for most of the movie so that like Tails and Knuckles can interact with Sonic, and it didn't work for me. That said, if you like seeing these characters and you like them interacting, and if you're a kid, you probably would enjoy it.
I'm a kid. I'm excited.
If you're
to watch
a kid
this.
at heart, it's fine action, okay writing, and bad plot, but that's okay. It lags a little bit. I don't think it's paced great, but whatever. It's a straight to streaming. I don't know. Hard to recommend that one, but if you're a Sonic fan, maybe you like it. I also watched The Lost City, which I think, Luke, you had said you watched this, right? And you liked it a lot. You liked it.
I did.
That may have set my expectations a little too high. I thought it was fine. It's a Matthew McConaughey. It knows what it is and it does what it does pretty well. It's pretty funny. There's decent chemistry. But but I wouldn't say I was all that entertained by it. That said, it was a better rom-com than I don't like rom-coms at all, so it did a good job still at being a better than average rom-com. I'll give that one to Matthew McConaughey. Oh man, I did more things. I watched, finished up Mr. Mayor season 2. This is the Ted Danson NBC show where he's mayor of Los Angeles. I think that is a pretty funny show. I don't watch a lot of shows that are on TV anymore. I mean, we just don't talk about them that much because
Those are not great.
they're not great. But I thought this one, I think this show is pretty good. Ted Danson's got great personality, and I think he's just fun to watch. It's on Hulu. If you've got Hulu, you can watch it over there. It's a Matthew McConaughey. It's good. It's good, not great. Kind of in that same place as Lost City. And then finally, I watched Prehistoric Planet, which is the Apple TV Plus dinosaur documentary show featuring David Attenborough. It's 5 episodes. Each episode focuses on a different biome. So, like, the first
Luke's
one is
pumped right now.
coasts. The second one is forests or freshwater. Are you talking to me?
No.
Okay.
No, I pull a headphone off so I can hear myself.
That's
with
fine.
these.
I don't like to hear myself when I talk, honestly.
I do.
Okay.
I like to know how loud I am.
I don't like to hear you talk either.
But it is really good. Prehistoric Planet. I think that it's, if you're if you have a perception of what a dinosaur is in your head, it may challenge you a little bit, just because I think we watch something like Jurassic Park and we have this idea of what a velociraptor should be, and like seeing what a velociraptor
totally wrong.
probably actually looked like is a bit like of a letdown.
Yeah.
At the same time, they tell really cool stories, kind of in each episode about these, what might these creatures have been like based on what they know through science and studying, not only fossils and bones, but what descendants of these creatures do today. So it's kind of neat.
How did it look? Like, how did the
It's
dinosaurs
gorgeous.
look?
Gorgeous.
Good.
Yeah, it's my one complaint is that like they probably spent the money that a normal documentary would like spend like on 8 episodes on 5. Like I wanted it to be longer, but like
Gotcha.
the quality is there, so it's hard
That's
to complain.
Apple's way.
But hey, they got that Apple
I
money.
know, right? Got that
They got the
iPhone
Apple
money.
not that Disney
See?
Plus.
We say they have Apple money and they should have done more, but Netflix is a prime example of why you don't do more. Apple's like, hey, we got this streamer that we don't charge crap for.
Yeah,
Well, let's be smart about what we put on our program.
it's a good point. But
Good
I
job,
give
Apple.
Prehistoric Planet a fanboy worthy. I think
Nice.
it's excellent. So definitely go watch that. Okay,
Let's do these impressions.
we're on to our impressions. That's right. Okay. This week we had the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi show drop. The wait is over. Ian McGregor is back. And what did you guys think?
What?
I don't know. Why'd you pause? Like,
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
For dramatic.
For dramatic effect.
Luke, what did you think? You watched this before you left,
I-
right?
I
Okay.
did, yes. I had high expectations, I think.
Hmm.
Not like super high, but just like, man, I just really hope they don't blow it.
Yeah.
Expectations. And I was so pleasantly surprised with just the way the story worked.
Hmm.
And I might have to go into a little bit of minor spoilers if you haven't seen it and don't want to know anything. So watch out. But I think everybody, including me, just assumed he's going to be on Tatooine protecting Luke. And that's just not at all what it was.
Yeah.
It was Leia.
Yes.
And I was just like, I'm an idiot. Of course. I thought that was brilliant, and I loved the little actress. I thought she was like perfect
She has good
as
spunk.
Leia.
She's from Bird Box.
She
She's
had
awesome.
Yeah, and she was snarky and quick-witted, like just like Leia is, and I thought she was fantastic. Um, Ewan, it's great to have Ewan back. Um, it was great to have Edgerton back as Owen, um, and yeah, I'm really excited with where the story's going. I guess my one like complaint would be, well, I guess I have two little complaints, but they're not really that big of a deal in my opinion, even though TikTok will make you think otherwise. One being the chase scene
Yes.
it was slow again.
Yes.
Um, it wasn't as bad as Boba Fett's because they're in vehicles, so it just looked off. Um, but I think they could have done a little bit better in that. But honestly, I think all the budget is going to go into like the last big fight with Vader and Obi-Wan. And the other thing was when shoot, I can't even remember her name. The villain Inquisitor,
Yeah.
Riva,
Rava.
yeah.
When her little parkour scene, I thought was long. It just looked weird.
It's very clearly
It
wire
was like
work.
another.
It,
It was another spin move, gunshot kind of
Yeah.
moment. It's just like we didn't need that.
I had the exact same feeling.
But like a lot of people, I feel like are complaining about her, and I don't reciprocate that at all. She has so much hate, and I think that's awesome. That she is so mad at Obi-Wan, um, for something he did, and she wants revenge, and I think she's doing a great job. So
Yeah.
I'm really intrigued with where it's going.
Yeah, my kind of initial like I had a similar thought to you, Luke, when it became obvious that, Leia was kind of going to be the focus of, at least for the here at the beginning, the focus of like how we get.
With like the intro, yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised by that. Again, I think the actress is great. She's done a good job. She has a decent amount of charisma because at this point, much like Luke in The Last Jedi, I think Obi-Wan is a little bit of just kind of down on himself. And I've seen some complaints about that too, and it's like that's a character trait right now that makes sense for him because of where he's at. Like, give him time.
He has PTSD because he killed his best friend or son, depending on how you view his relationship.
Right. Yeah.
Like I love the choice. I think it's incredible.
Yeah, I think he's been doing a really good job of playing those into those emotions.
Yeah, I don't know how you're not emotion like complaining about that is weird to me because if we were chosen to shepherd the chosen one to fulfill a destiny and then you just end up killing him, I think I would struggle with that mentally for the rest of my life. So
Yeah.
I think his emotions are warranted.
Agreed.
I also just like the fear that the Jedi have.
Yes.
It's so nice to see because like in the prequels they're held on this pedestal, even though they're cowards, they're fearful, they do it, and the Purge brings that out of them, or the Clone Wars brings that out of them. And now we're seeing, oh, this is Jedi. We're actually like they're a bunch of cowards. They're self.
And I love how we see the Inquisitors exploiting kind of the nature of
Jedi's how they can't stop. They have to help.
Yeah. And seeing that intensity kind of counterbalance this, the quiet nature. I mean, it almost is a, a flip of the Republic era where there were so many Jedi and the Sith were these, hidden, had to be secret, and now it's you have these Inquisitors walking around who are, Jedi who have turned or were turned, and the Jedi are the ones who are in hiding, and their nature. Again, I think storytelling, especially stories about our nature and who we are, that's always interesting to me. So I think it's done a good job. I'm very happy with the first 2 episodes. Um, it's a little. I mean, they're treading that line of nostalgia and like this is a character we know, so we're going to like the past. His history is important to it. So seeing that, Order 66 flashback and like that's important to the story because of the characters who are involved. So it's worked so far. It hasn't felt too nostalgia-y for me. So yeah, I've been pleasantly surprised.
I'll just
Dude,
go ahead.
sorry, go.
No,
You haven't. Okay. The like recap of the prequels,
Mm-hmm.
dude, like was bringing me to tears. Like the way they edited that and the music was getting to me. And then what do they start off with? Freaking invasion of the Jedi people. And that I thought that was an awesome scene. And whoever choreographed that scene, I thought did awesome.
Well shot too,
That
yeah.
was just one tank.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, very well done.
More of that. That was great.
Tyler, what was your thought?
I think you guys kind of touched on just about everything. But I think it's a treat to see Obi-Wan on the screen again.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to get a Star Wars thing that is just Star Wars. It's not trying to be anything else. It's just trying to be Star Wars again, which is really refreshing. Which is weird to say. And it just I'm with you guys on the Leia bit. It was like that's the story that is never told. Like we kind of know it just by context, but actually getting to see it now is super nice. And I thought there were some pretty cool callbacks to some things that are actually in the sequel trilogy as well. I thought that was neat. I'm pumped for this. I'm looking forward to more episodes, man. I've seen a lot of the cast members joking about a season 2. Lots of laughs. McGregor actually said, episodes 8, 9, and 10. He said those words, even though it's only been confirmed for 6 episodes. So I mean, there's a lot of buzz kind of coming out of this thing, and I think it's nice that there was a ton of hype, and I think that hype was appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a while. I'll be honest, I had very little faith in this. I did not think I would enjoy it as much as I did.
Yeah.
But I'm like Luke said, when they had like the cut prequel highlight recap thing right before it starts, I was like, oh man, I forgot how much I really loved these movies. Like I know I watched them recently, but like the recap just it nails it down. Like right before you go in, you're like, oh man. Also, Obi-Wan Kenobi's knife is a thing, guys. It is a thing. For Fortnite, remember?
Oh.
He has his knife. I do like watching, slight spoiler, I do like watching him fight the urge to help. I think that's a really cool challenge of his character that works.
Also, I really appreciate how he hasn't used his lightsaber yet.
Yeah.
They're gonna make us wait for it.
They're gonna make us wait, and they're making they know how to toe that line. I think so. That's awesome.
Another cool thing. This takes place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. And we got a trailer for a game that we'll talk about later. That takes place 10 years after.
That wasn't an accident.
No.
And there's so many like, hey, there's people who can help you lines throughout the first 2 episodes.
Well, and even in the first, again, like maybe slight spoilers, but like even in the first episode, you see another Jedi.
Yep.
So, yeah, I liked that. I like that they didn't feel so in like cornered into this idea that there weren't any more Jedi. From
Hmm.
kind of like that. It's hinted at in the first one. It's like they just aren't around, and yeah, we got Yoda a little later, but like for the most part, it was like Obi-Wan and Yoda were like the last two, and I appreciate just that they've found
It's
they
the
found a
retcon that
way
I
to
like.
keep it to honor that. Like, yeah, they're still like they're a dying breed or whatever, but fill the world with these little stories and these others that are just surviving under the cover of darkness.
Hmm.
Yeet.
Yeet. All right. Good job. Let's talk about Stranger Things. Stranger Things 4. Luke, have you watched any of this?
I've watched
Oh,
zero of this.
man. All right. No spoilers. We're just going to give some real brief impressions.
Brett, you go first. I've watched 5 episodes. You've watched 1.
Yes. So I've watched just the first episode.
Never thought I'd be the one furthest along in the show.
Right?
Am I still gonna finish it
No.
first, though?
Probably not.
Might be.
When
Brett.
do you come back?
I don't know. I think I get back Saturday.
Yeah, no, I'll be done by then.
Oh yeah. So man, it seemed like all the buzz going into this was like, look at how big these episodes are. And yeah, they're chunky boys, but at least from the first episode, I understand why. And it's something that Stranger Things does that a lot of other stories don't do well, which is I mean, when I say stories, I mean shows specifically, shows and movies. Is that the characters that your main protagonists come across so often they're just a pawn in this story, and then once that story beats over, they're gone. And Stranger Things is like, let's flesh out all of them. Max, she's like a main character now. Like we're gonna keep adding, and that's really the only reason why I think episode 1 is so big, is because we're hitting each and every person's here's where they are now, and I can only imagine that continues throughout. But I don't mind watching an hour and 18-minute episode if I can get that good. Now if it's done well, of course. If it's not done well, I cut it, but it's all done really well. Duffer Brothers have done a great job once again setting up this world and filling it with interesting characters. And I love how this first one still feels like a throwback to the very first episode of season 1.
Yeah, they do that every season, and it's so cool.
Yeah.
As well as some other things I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think the way I would phrase what you're saying there is they give every character room to breathe.
Yeah.
And they do a really good job of it the entire time, which is really nice.
You still have your core,
yeah,
the boys and Elle,
yeah,
and everyone else doesn't necessarily get that amount of screen time. They don't. It's not like everyone gets 10 minutes of screen time type of thing, but
they get what they need
exactly
to get their story moving and keep it interesting.
Yep.
And that doesn't slow down at all through the 5 episodes I've watched. One thing I've always felt Stranger Things does such a good job of doing, because you start to care about these characters a lot after you watch a season and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're in season 4 and you're like, oh man, I don't really want them to add characters. But when they add characters, they just hit every single time. And it's so impressive that the cast continues to grow, but all of them are great.
Yeah.
They're all so good. Like Eddie, the new guy Eddie this season, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. He's so fun and interesting and weird and nerdy, and it's great. The Hellfire Club is awesome. I think what I will be very interested to see is for people who have watched the first 3 seasons and felt like, oh, it's kind of scary. Season 4 is scary. It is scary. It is a scary thing. It is not. Season 4
feels like it's growing up with the cast.
here's what I compare it to. It is It. If the new It movies are considered scary to you, that this lands in that space to me. I don't think it's scary. I think it's creepy.
Yeah.
And very different from the other 3 seasons, while also feeling very similar.
Yeah, it still feels like Stranger Things.
Yeah.
It's just like, we're gonna like.
Well, you said grow up.
Yeah.
It has grown up.
Yeah.
Like, for sure. The show has grown up. I mean, $30 million an episode. You can see it. It's very evident. I mean, it's beefy. And the new villain is awesome. And the end of episode 1, and this is where I'll finish my thoughts. The end of episode 1 is one of the most graphic things I've ever seen in a show or movie. And we just watched
Men.
Yeah. It is one of the most graphic things I've ever seen.
I'm
and they don't stop.
I'm honestly surprised that they managed to keep the TV 14 rating.
Dude, I don't know how.
They must have just pushed that limit, walked.
Wow.
They probably walked it past the line and then walked it back till they were like, okay.
And what's so funny, man, is Dana looked away. Dana couldn't watch it.
Yeah.
But then in the second episode, and this isn't a spoiler, in the second episode, someone is retelling the account, and they just show it in snippets again.
Oh,
and
gosh.
so Dana ended up having to watch it anyways because they show it in flashes.
Oh, no.
Man, it's crazy. It's so good. I've really enjoyed it. The only negative I'll give it is, and I think it's weird because I complimented it for this earlier, but the cast is so big. But that's also an issue. The cast is huge, right? We have to start paring things down. I think Millie Bobby Brown even said this in press. Let's start paring this thing down. Let's start to trim off some of the fat. And I think there's a storyline I think it feels like it's spinning its wheels a little bit. But everything else has been really, really good. I don't know where you trim it other than that.
Yeah.
But I'll save that for off-air comment.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So intriguing.
Yeah, it's weird how they're telling that story to me.
Well, good.
But all in all,
good first impression.
Very, very, very strong impression for me. I love it.
Yeah. The first episode was great. Can't wait for more. So
I think I'm pretty likely to enjoy this season as much as the first season.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's about where I'm
getting hyped up again.
Yeah. Also some really cool legacy characters.
Oh, nice.
You've already seen one.
I saw a lot of characters.
You did see a lot of characters. A lot of legacy stuff going on. Like you said, nice callbacks to the first episode.
Yep. Well, good. All right. I think we can
move into some news.
We can move into some news. I guess trailers. We had a bunch of Star Wars trailers, which we can.
Do you just want to collectively thumbs up or thumbs down all of those at once? I think the average of all of those is a thumbs up.
Yeah. So we had from Star Wars Celebration. We'll talk more about some of the additional news things, but we had an Andor trailer. That gets the thumbs up for me.
I actually thought this looked good.
I didn't know that Tony Gilroy was doing this, and he saved Rogue One, in my opinion. So, got me even more intrigued.
Love it. We had a teaser trailer for, what Luke mentioned earlier, Star Wars Survivor. This is the sequel to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, the video game, starring Cal Kestis.
Okay.
Yes. Good teaser. We knew this was coming, and I'm excited. I haven't even beat that game, and I'm excited.
Luke, who's the guy in the tank?
I don't know. I don't know. But he is whooping Cal, and he only has one arm. He's just one-handed fighting with his saber.
Let's go.
Or it might have been a different. But man, I'm beat.
Yeah, this speeds up my timeline to play Fallen Order now.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. We got.
Also, I can finally mark a prediction
Oh
now
yeah.
that they have announced
Did I
it,
have?
and it's all.
Did I have any Star Wars predictions this year? Surely I did. Probably.
Mine's almost a two-parter. They said coming in 2023, and I said fall.
Mm,
So if we get a date sometime this year, it's more specific.
there you go. You're close. You're close.
Two.
Oh, real quick, over in the chat, I just want to shout out Seabull. What's up? Good to see you back here, man. It's been a little while. Glad you popped into the stream. We got a Bad Batch season 2 trailer. That's coming this fall, faster than I expected.
I did not watch this one.
Luke, did you watch this?
I did, and I'm very excited. I liked the Bad Batch. I didn't think it was the best thing Star Wars anime done, but I saw a lot of stuff that I liked, including the Wookiee jet.
Yeah.
It's coming back, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think his name was like Gurgi or something.
That sounds right. I can't remember. I just remember him. Was he only in the lightsaber building storyline? Is that the only time we saw him? Man, that was a good.
Yeah, when they go to Ilum. Yeah.
Oh, Ilum. Then they destroyed that planet. Sad day.
I got one from Star Wars Celebration.
Hit me.
I put a High Republic Star Wars show will be announced, and it'll be animated. That's my two-parter.
Oh, that's your
Star Wars High Republic kids show.
Nice.
Follows younglings as they study ways of the Force.
That's right. There you go. Not Star Wars specific, but we did get a trailer for Willow coming from Lucasfilm.
Dude, I thought this trailer was awesome.
Yeah, big thumbs up.
Thumbs up for me. I've never seen Willow though.
Oh, well, we'll have to change that.
I never have.
Yeah, I've never watched it. I've never heard it's great, but this trailer was cool.
I don't particularly think it's great, but it's one of those. It's a little bit like the Dark Crystal, right? Like, is it great? No, but like it's kind of its own thing, and if you're into it, you're into it.
Look, I don't know if I can handle watching Val Kilmer in something right now.
It's true.
I need some time.
Touche.
You're right.
I think that's all of the trailers that were dropped from Star Wars Celebration.
Okay.
So some other trailers real quick, and then we'll jump back into Star Wars news.
Last week we had the Thor trailer.
We
that
did.
Luke watched mid-show, but we did not watch it until after the show. Thumbs up for me.
I'm a thumbs up as well, but and if this sounds like a restrained thumbs up, it is, but I like what I see for the most part. So nothing really stuck with me. Like you
I didn't like Thor Ragnarok.
You talked about it.
I just accepted that.
You talked about it when like pre-show, or did you even mention the Did you just mention it now? Like I'm thinking back and I'm like, I don't really remember even much of the trailer. But in the moment, it was fun. So
I'm excited for it because Christian Bale's in it.
So Gore does look awesome.
To me.
I love.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I remember in the trailer. Now that you mention him, like his look kind of evolving over the course of it.
Yes.
And I assume that's over the course of the movie, we'll see that him kind of become the
God Butcher.
The God Butcher, as illustrated in the comics, and that's gonna be really cool, I think. So
yeah, I just love Christian Bale. So if he's in something, it makes me 10 times more interested in it.
Sounds good. He's a good actor. Let's see. We have The Gray Man, Netflix's super expensive Russo brothers show or movie. Not show. It's a movie.
Oh man. Yeah.
That's not coming to theater. There's no way they make money off this.
So the reason we make the super expensive comment here is I came over before to the show and I was like, Brett, did you watch the Gray Man trailer? And you were like, no, not yet. And I was like, I'm so curious what the budget is for this because it looks nuts. Like it looks like it's going to be huge. So we look up the budget, Brett. And how much was it?
$200 million. That's not with marketing. That's just the budget.
Oh man.
That's like
Maybe they'll finally release movie in theaters.
Well, so we
Doubtful.
were talking about that, and
Yeah.
and at the end of the show, if we have time, I want to do a little Fanbox question about this. So, Luke, just prime yourself. Just we're gonna predict what we think the first Netflix wide release in theaters movie is gonna be. So just think about that.
Okay.
We'll answer that later. So, because I don't know how you justify a $200 million movie for a streaming service. That's bananas to me. But the trailer, thumbs up.
Yes.
Looks great. It looks like they know how to spend their money.
Yeah, it looks awesome. It looks intense, and I'm really excited to see a Russo brothers movie that isn't tied to
and that they're actually
Marvel.
directing,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
not
Mhm.
just producing.
Not
like
just
21
producing.
Bridges. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, did you guys have any other trailers that I
Yeah, dude,
missed?
you missed.
I probably missed a bunch.
You missed the best trailer of the weekend.
Oh, no.
Beast.
I didn't watch it, actually. You're right. I saw that pop up on my timeline, and I was like, oh,
With
I'll
the
watch it.
Idris Elba
And I didn't get around
just
to
getting
it.
hunted by a lion.
Yeah,
movie.
it's a thumbs down.
I kind of saw it in
It's a
passing.
thumbs down. This trailer is not good. I like Idris Elba, but I will not
saw
watch
it.
this.
I saw a ad for it before a YouTube video, and I was like, all I could think about was that.
Yes!
Megan
Oh, with the tiger? Or the
Rogue or whatever
yeah.
it's called.
Oh, gosh.
The one that like you watch the trailer and you're like, oh, what is this? It's like a military movie, and then it's like, wait a
Nope.
minute, what? She's fighting a lion? Who?
She's going up to the lion like.
Yeah. No, this I did watch it, thumbs down. I don't know, man. Idris Elba does some weird movies. He just does stuff.
Yeah.
It's like the classic, I'm going to take my kids to this place to go on this safari because I need to reconnect with their mom who I've done wrong. And then everything's going to go bad and I'm going to save them and then the mom's going to love me again. And like it's just that movie. That's the movie.
That's the movie.
Also, watching him try to run from a lion that you never actually see chasing him is quite hilarious because there's no way he's running fast enough to get away.
Hey, maybe it'll be the next Crawl.
Who knows?
There's
Look,
always that. Watch
there's
it come out
always
to
the
like
chance.
100%. I'd
always
be
the
like,
chance, right?
what? Dude, Crawl's great.
Crawl was awesome.
Now I want to watch that again. That was good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I have a gaming trailer.
Oh, what is it?
There was a Hogwarts Legacy PS5 immersion trailer.
I didn't see this.
This was super cool. It kind of showed. It's like a minute long. It showed like the adaptive triggers, how the headset, the 3D adaptive audio headset, will work with the game. It showed the haptic feedback when you're on your broom and flying with animals. It like showed how it's going to work on the controller. It was pretty neat. I want to get this on Xbox, but the more I'm seeing about it and how they're going to use the DualSense controller, that makes it kind of tempting to play on PlayStation, honestly, because that stuff's cool. Like Xbox needs to get their crap together so I can get a haptic controller for that.
Does that game have a multiplayer aspect?
That I don't know, because if it doesn't, that changes the conversation. Because if it's all single player, I'll
they
likely
haven't
play
talked about multiplayer at all.
Yeah,
So
I will likely play it on PlayStation.
My follow-up question would be, what do you think would be cross?
Is what? Sorry, say that again, Luke.
Would it have crossplay?
Oh,
Which is becoming a more
It
common.
is. No,
that
for
is
sure.
true. That is true. Yeah. All right, Luke. Did you have any trailers that we missed?
I have no idea. I'm just winging it over here.
No, I love it. I love it. All right. And then I think we can jump back into Star Wars Celebration news. We'll talk about things that weren't trailers. There was some Ahsoka. They've been filming for like 3 weeks now, I think, and they had a little series, first look for the fans there. So we haven't seen it. It's not out there on the internet, but there are some descriptions. But it looks like it's teasing some Rebels characters. So we may get some additional Rebels characters in live action. Ezra, Sabine, Hera, and Chopper. So Chopper I never expected to see.
Sabine has been cast
Yep.
already. We
That's
did know
true.
that.
That's true. We did know that.
Mhm.
Chopper is just so
Man,
so
that-
goofy. that
I love that book.
I'm very curious at how much they lean into that in the live action stuff.
Mhm.
Because he's like R2-D2 in the prequels on steroids.
Out of all the droids, I'd say he's one of the better ones. All the droids have the same personality, sassy,
Yeah.
and he's one of the better ones.
Yep.
And I hope they win.
Indeed. We also got a title reveal from John Watts's series that he's working on, Star Wars Skeleton Crew. This is the one that's kind of focused around like the 8 to 10-year-olds, but apparently starring Jude Law as well, which I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Like, it adds interest, but how are you gonna make me care about this? I just right now I'm at like 1 out of 100 interests, and that one is I'm at a 2 out of 100 interests. One of those is that it's Star Wars, and the other one is that it has Jude Law in it.
Yeah.
But like this era of Star Wars is got too much stuff in it, so they're really gonna have to make me care about it.
Boy, last week we talked about how Kathleen was like, we like are super excited to be moving away from the Skywalker saga and this timeline, and then Star Wars Celebration this week was like, hey,
Just kidding.
Yeah.
We've been doing Skywalker stuff.
Ahsoka, Bad Batch.
Well, speaking of moving away, I know not you guys don't follow the High Republic Publishing Initiative very closely. As I kind of have. They announced that they're going further back.
Oh,
now.
nice.
So
yes.
they're entering what they're calling Phase 2.
Mhm.
Thanks, Marvel. Of the High Republic era, and they're just going to go further back, which I think is cool. Because up until this point, from what I've read, which I've only not read one book in the adult line,
right?
They've only mentioned Yoda. That's it. Nobody else from anything else has been in it yet. And so going further back, I'm super curious what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Look forward to that. They've done a really good job with the books so far. I'll keep you guys updated as more comes out on that.
I'm going on vacation soon. My plan is to take that first one with me.
The Light of the Jedi?
Yeah.
I think you'll really...
You mean To Sleep in a Sea of Stars?
Shh.
Oh yeah, I did finish that before you. Nice reminder. That's gonna have a sequel before Brett finishes it.
Probably.
No, it's. I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll really like what they do with the Force and kind of how it all works. It's cool.
Awesome. Let's see. We did get
Tales of the Jedi.
We did. I was about to say, Tales of the Jedi was announced. Apparently it's an anthology series, animated. The 3 characters that I saw mentioned: Ahsoka, Count Dooku, and Qui-Gon Jinn, with Liam Neeson returning to voice Qui-Gon, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So from what I heard, the Ahsoka story is going to be her book, pretty much. Which was a very interesting story, just wasn't very well told. The book is how she gets her white sabers.
Oh.
And it is such an awesome use of the Force, I think, like what she does. So I'm really excited for that.
That's awesome.
Plus, we'll probably get more Ashley Eckstein's Ahsoka voice.
Yeah. Yep, I think that makes a lot of sense to bring her back. And she was at Celebration, so makes a lot of sense to me. My favorite news from this week of Star Wars news
5?
was not Indiana Jones 5, but let's just talk about it since Luke threw it out there. Yeah, we did get the Indiana Jones 5 poster.
As one of the 5 people on the planet that I think is like so hyped for this, I love seeing this picture.
It's a good poster.
I'm really excited for this, mainly also too because like Harrison Ford, this is one of the 2 things in this world that he cares about.
That's true. Yeah.
Flying planes and Indiana
Why
Jones.
didn't they get Why didn't Tom Cruise give him a call up to be in the in Top Gun Maverick?
He would have crashed.
Probably.
I shouldn't say that. I might run into it.
That's a good point. No, yeah, that looks good. Good poster. I'm fairly excited. I think if anyone can do something interesting with it, it's Mangold. So
Yup.
Mhm.
That's why I'm interested.
that's why I'm interested.
If he wasn't directing, I probably would not be looking forward to it like I am.
Yeah, so good for them. No, my favorite news out of the week: Star Wars Visions Volume 2 coming in 2020, spring of 2023.
That's dope.
I didn't even
Yeah.
know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's freaking
Star
Yeah.
Wars Visions is like my favorite thing since 2017 to come out of Star Wars. So
What came out in 2017?
hyped. I'm not going to talk about it, Tyler.
Oh, okay. I was just curious.
It may involve the letters T, L, and J.
I know it's got an R and a J attached to it as well.
Indeed it does. Indeed it does. But also coming in 2023, The Mandalorian Season 3.
Early 2023, I think, is what they said, right?
Yes.
Which
Yes.
is weird, because haven't they been fall releases every time?
They have been.
Yeah.
So
I'm okay
maybe
with
something's coming in the fall that we haven't been told
Ahsoka.
yet. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Bad
No,
bet.
this checks out.
No, Ahsoka's after.
Yeah, the fall, like next fall. What we were talking about.
Oh, next
Yeah.
fall?
Fall 2023.
Yeah, it'll be Mandalorian in the spring and then Ahsoka in the fall.
That makes sense.
Any more Star Wars news?
They had some stuff for like Disney Junior and some silly shows and stuff like that. So those are cool. I care about them just because Clara likes to watch. She loves that holiday special. So not the original holiday special, the animated holiday special. Let me be clear.
Probably gave her nightmares.
I think my only hope for
Is Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Bryn moving over to... She did watch Obi-Wan Kenobi with me. Bryn moving over to Star Wars is if Bluey joins the fold. So...
There you go. Get some cross-promotional synergy there.
Come on, Disney. Actually, don't buy Bluey. You'll ruin it. Bluey's fantastic. It's the best kids show I've ever watched.
Bluey is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. What other news do we have?
So I have to talk about this because this is my favorite news I think I've ever seen. The concept of things moving to public domain has always been so strange to me.
Oh Lord. Have mercy on our souls.
But this happening is kind of hilarious. And I'll be honest, I'm morbidly curious in seeing a trailer for this. Winnie the Pooh is being made into a horror film because of it being public domain. And it was revealed that Pooh and Piglet ate Eeyore, and that's why he is not present in the photos that have been released. This sounds so ridiculous. It looks as ridiculous as it sounds. I will watch this trailer when it comes out, and I might go watch this movie.
This is the cost of public domain is that you just get these batshit crazy ideas that people have, and like it's probably gonna be horrible. And like I love Winnie the Pooh. Like I have an immense emotional attachment to that those characters, and so like this horrifies me, but at the same time it's like it's okay. It's just because it's moving into public domain, and like that is good. People I say people or corporations shouldn't be able to hold on to IPs forever. So I am glad. At the same time, this is horrifying, and I have zero interest in it. But like, fine.
So Bambi: A Life in the Woods is entered public domain this year as well. In 2023, you get Goodnight Moon, Metropolis.
Oh, interesting.
Popeye enters public domain next year. That's going to be fun. Mickey Mouse and Steamboat Willie in 2024. Frankenstein in 2026. That could be fun.
That could be.
Conan in 2027, King Kong in 2028,
Oh, start writing that script, baby.
Donald Duck in
Those
2029.
Disney ones, they're gonna fight tooth and nail to try and get those extended. We'll see.
I
if
know.
they do.
Isn't Batman supposed to enter public domain?
That's a good question. Maybe fairly soon.
2031 and 2035, in between that range. Superman,
Okay.
Batman, Snow White, and Looney Tunes.
Then we'll be able to make the Batman that we've always dreamed of making in our backyard.
Unfortunately, that came out this year for me.
Ah, well, fair enough. Okay, another story that I have: True Detective season 4 was announced to star Jodie Foster. It is going to take place in Alaska and follows the disappearance of 6 men from a research center. Sign me up.
Weren't we just talking
We
about
were just
this?
talking about True Detective
they
like
should
2
do a
weeks ago.
Season 4?
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, this is awesome.
I'm so here.
This is a show, even if you don't like a season, they should keep doing with it.
Yep.
It's one of the best ideas for a show. And season 1 is absolutely incredible. Season 3 was good too. And season 2 had some interesting ideas. But yeah, I'm hyped for this. I think Jodie Foster is a really awesome choice. And Alaska. Okay.
Yep. Let's get weird.
It will probably look really pretty.
Let's get weird.
Yep. That's all the news I have written down. Do you guys have other stories?
I have 4 more stories.
Oh,
here.
hit me with them.
I'll do a sad one first.
Oh.
Ray Liotta passed away.
Yeah, that's right.
Last week. Really unfortunate. He was in the middle of filming a movie, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So, thinking about his family this week, that's tough. Had some really iconic roles, and will be missed for sure. And I'm not trying to make light of this, but I'll never forget the Chantix commercial that he's on.
Oh, yeah.
To quit smoking. I don't know why I don't smoke, but I remember seeing that commercial all the time. Anyways, moving on. A Marvel MMO was canceled this week. It was being made by Daybreak Games, the company who makes DC Universe Online. I guess they decided that they weren't happy with what they were seeing. They didn't think it was profitable as a model, and so they moved on from it. So for the people who were looking forward to that, that's unfortunate. Next, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, officially titled and shown and dated October 28th. A little bit earlier than they normally release.
Yeah. Are they trying to get out of someone else's way?
Well,
who else is releasing a game this fall?
Avatar 2.
I think the timing being the 28th was always going to be the time. I think they were trying to beat Starfield to market. It's like 14 days prior to Starfield, so give themselves a 2-week buffer.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, this is. I'm interested in this Call of Duty. I really liked the 2019 Modern Warfare Call of Duty. I thought it was a solid game. As the first one where they changed engines and really tried to revamp things, and they brought back all the old characters like Ghost and Soap, and Captain Price is in this one. Like it looks cool. So I'll be keeping my ear to the ground on this year's Call of Duty. I don't know if I'll get it yet, but I'm interested. And then the last thing I have to bring up, because this is super freaking cool, we got leaked images of the Blue Beetle suit.
Oh, yeah.
This is awesome. That thing's going to look sick in post when they light it up and make it look real like shiny. That's as comic accurate as you can get, I think. Also, the fact that he's wearing the entire thing and not pulling like the Iron Man just top half thing.
Yeah.
Is so freaking cool.
It looks so
good. It does, dude. It looks impressive.
So good.
I'm really looking forward to this movie. Already was, even more so now that the suit is out and looks phenomenal. This is gonna be sick. And I think they're trying to cast a Sudeikis-like actor for Ted Cord.
Just get Sudeikis.
For Ted Cord. So, they're already filming, so Ted Cord will probably just be like a mentorish, here and there character.
Mm-hmm.
But they literally like cropped out Sudeikis' eyes and just like put his face in like with no anything on it, and they're like, "We're looking for somebody who looks like this." It's like, so are you guys just gonna cast him, or it's super weird. I've never seen that before, but somebody leaked the casting or the post for it or whatever. Yeah, this looks great. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to get our first look at that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also like one of the movies, where like when we were talking fan casts,
Mm-hmm.
like the actor that I had brought up was the actor who actually got cast for it. And granted, I had seen other people fan casting him too, but I just could not agree more after watching Cobra Kai with the choice. And I love that he's got the long hair. I just, oh man, I'm so pumped for that movie. I'm so pumped. That movie's gonna be weird. It's gonna be awesome. That's all I got. I don't think I have anything else. Luke, I'm gonna look at yours. Your
I looked at it already.
Nothing new.
We're good.
Okay, cool.
Well, then I think that it's time to talk about Top Gun Maverick.
It's time for the need.
Guys, I've been listening to this
It's time to
soundtrack
enter the danger zone.
all freaking weekend.
As you should.
It's so good. Okay, yeah, Top Gun Maverick, Tom Cruise's best reviewed movie
And biggest box office
biggest
opening.
box office. Yeah, hit theaters this week. So, what are your guys' initial impressions?
I'll read mine. So I didn't tweet anything out, but I just wrote this here. Top Gun Maverick is the movie I hoped it would be. Emotional, intense, and filled with tons of fist-pumping moments. I can't wait to watch it again.
I tweeted something, but I made a little bit longer on my Letterboxd. Follow me on Letterboxd.
Oh,
Plug.
Good plug.
Actually, if you do, my name is Luke Z_WTFB. I think it was. Oh, I gotta try and remember this. Top Gun Maverick has no business being as good as it is. It's not just a rush of fast-paced dogfighting, crazy action, but like has rushes of just emotion as well. I cried multiple times. Wow, like I was completely blown away. Even with seeing like the positive reception, it's like, oh man, that's great that it's doing good.
Yep.
People are like, this movie's awesome. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, my eyes were wet throughout this whole movie.
It's awesome.
Yeah, my tweet was Top Gun Maverick hits all the right notes. It cares about its characters and their relationships just as much as giving you amazing aerial stunts. I think that's one of those things that the marketing, rightly so, is all like, hey, look how we did this, like practically, how we trained these actors to fly F-18s and gave them control and had them do these awesome stunts. But when you sit down to watch this movie, you care about the outcomes of those stunts, of those aerial acrobatics, because you care about the people who are in the planes, in the cockpit. So, bravo! I wasn't expecting this to be this good, and it was.
Dude, Tom Cruise and Chris McQuarrie might be one of the best duos in movie history.
They're by far the best in this moment, but they may be the best, one of the best in history for sure.
Yeah, they're crushing it.
Because they did 2 Mission Impossibles together. This movie, well, Chris McQuarrie wrote it.
He's a producer on it, I think so.
Yeah. And it just gets me so excited for the next Mission Impossible too.
I was telling Dana, like, I think anything Macquarie is attached to moving forward, I'll be tuning into.
Yeah.
Because everything I've watched of his has really hit in all the right places. I really like what he's got going on.
And I feel like Tom Cruise is going to get a lot of praise for this movie because he's great in it. Top Gun is kind of what got him started in the action business. But I just want to shout out Joseph, the director.
Oh yeah.
I feel like he's so underappreciated for what he's done. He did Tron Legacy, which I think is awesome. He did Oblivion, which I think is super underrated.
That is true.
I feel like finally he has this hit that's just appreciated, and I think it's going to do wonders for him.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what he's doing next.
Spiderhead on Netflix with Chris Hemsworth.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Okay. Interesting.
They also directed one of the best commercials ever. The nacho fries commercials for Taco Bell.
I love it. Heck yeah.
It was called Web of Fries.
That is fantastic. What do you guys think about this cast? I mean, we talk about Tom Cruise because he's the leading man. He deserves a lot of credit, but like, we've got a really solid, veteran cast from returning from Top Gun, the first movie, and we've got a new batch of kids. What did you guys think?
Okay, so before we dig into the new batch of kids, I did not realize Lewis Pullman was in this, and I didn't realize who Lewis Pullman was.
Oh yeah.
Until I was watching the movie, and he gets introduced. It's Bob.
Mm-hmm.
They're introducing Bob, and I was like, "Who's that guy? And why does he look so familiar to me?" And the movie ended, and I looked it up immediately because I was like, "Who is it? It's Rhett from Outer Range, who I freaking loved because he's incredible in that, and he's good in this too." Even with what little he has, he's really good.
Yeah.
I'm here for the Lewis Pullman coming out party. Like I'm so here for this. Like I hope it happens. But as a whole, yeah, the cast is phenomenal. I thought John Hamm was really good, kind of being the D-bag military guy. He did a good job. I like the little, I don't want to spoil things, but I like that as small as his role was, there's a very clear arc for his character. How he has a point and a belief at the beginning, and at the end, that belief is changed. And I think that's really neat. That even a character who basically just acts as a vehicle to tell you how much time there is until the mission still gets an arc that feels fleshed out.
He's a character that in most other movies is one note.
Yep.
And that is kind of to be the D-bag.
Yep.
Who everyone proves, at the end, the hero proves wrong, right? And that's what you leave it at. And he starts there, but he ends somewhere else, which is nice.
Yes, I loved that.
It's
such
subtle,
a small thing,
and it's
but
small,
I loved
but it works. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And John Hamm's always great.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
For sure.
I also get a new fan cast out of this movie for superheroes.
Oh.
Let's recast Ezra Miller like Stat with Glenn Powell. Let's do that. Hangman.
Oh yeah.
Let's make him Barry Allen. Let's do it. I'm
down.
all for it.
I'll allow it. It's great. It's a great film.
I think he would be awesome.
So with his character, I really appreciated how he just wasn't a copy of Iceman from the original. Because, and I think this is super interesting. You watch that movie for the first time and you're a kid and it's got planes in it and it's super cool, and you're rooting for Tom Cruise when you shouldn't be. Val Kilmer's character in the first Top Gun is the best pilot. He's a good guy. He's just not the main character of the movie. And I'm glad they just didn't copy paste that into this one.
They also really respected that from the first one in this movie. Like, like you recognize it when you watch Top Gun, this movie just like affirms that
Yeah.
based on where these characters have since ended up. And I think that's really cool. Luke's reading my notes. I can feel it. I can feel it.
Well,
But it's just so weird because it's something you don't really think about it when you watch it when you're a young buck watching fighter jet. Like Tom Cruise is not a he's Hangman is who he is. Glenn Powell's character is Tom Cruise in the first Top Gun, and you hate Glenn Powell in this movie. It just, and now we're going back to Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's all from a certain point of view, like how you tell your story.
Yeah. I think the unsurprising standout is Miles Teller.
Yeah.
It's his role to screw up, and he doesn't. He nails it. I mean, he's given this enormous responsibility of, you know, being, I don't think this is a spoil, is people know who he is, right? Based on the trailers. Yeah. That's revealed pretty early on. The son of Goose, and the relationship that he has with Mav makes so much sense. It works really well. I love how they didn't put Tom Cruise up on an Apple box. You see the physical difference between them, and like he's just not afraid of Tom Cruise, and I love that. And they're kind of head to head, back and forth over the course of the movie. I think it works really well, and there's a natural turning point where it's like, okay, we're gonna address this,
and it's not overdone.
No,
which I think is what I like. That was my big concern going into this.
Yeah,
is like, oh hey, we have Miles Teller playing Rooster. That's like the whole time, like that's the story. Like you think that's what the entire story will be, and it's not that entirely. And I just really enjoy, one, how the natural turning point gets there, but two, just they don't make it bigger than it is.
Yeah.
And I just really appreciated that. Like I thought it would be way bigger than it was.
Jennifer Connelly is the saving grace here, where Tom Cruise needs a relational not conflict, but obstacles to overcome. And I think you're right. If it that could have been just a mentor or student teacher thing with Miles Teller and Rooster, but instead they let that breathe, and they say, okay, well, here's Penny. Yeah, let's explore this relationship. And they give a good amount of time to just let Tom Cruise and Jennifer Connelly share the screen together and kind of figure out what this is going on. The boat sailing scene was one of my favorite scenes of this movie. It has nothing to do with the plot, but it has everything to do with his relationship and his need
for speed.
Sorry. Well, his character's need, because it's not necessarily about his character's want, it's about his character's need.
Yeah. I love too in that scene, Tom Cruise looks like he was just having so much fun.
Oh yeah.
Like it just looked like a blast to him. Yeah, and on, you know, Penny's the Penny subplot throughout this whole movie, one of my biggest issues with the first movie is I think it's, again, I'm going to say it, overdone. The love story in the first one's a little bit just, there's a lot to it. And this one, I think it's just the right amount. Like it's just perfectly sprinkled in there.
Agreed.
Also, like, comparing it to the first one again, there's just like a battle at the end of the first movie. And it's just like, okay. And this one, you know, you're leading up to a battle because they're training for a specific mission. It's not just like, hey, we're at this cool fight school and we're competing to be the #1 rank or whatever. Oh, going to war. This one is, we're going to war.
Yeah. So
buckle up. And that was something the first one was lacking. I thought they handled that really well. That they had a narrative that they're like, this is where we're going.
And I love, we talked a little bit about it we hinted at it with when we talked about John Hamm, but like the difference that John Hamm has as a commander versus Tom Cruise as the instructor for like how to get the job done and how to complete this mission and the consequences of doing it one way or another. Like you feel that. And you feel that tension without it without it being, kind of like you can't handle the truth yelling at each other's faces. It's subtle, but it works because you have to be ready for the worst, but you want to try to avoid it at the same time.
It's what two great leaders in a room together look like when they don't agree.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah,
and I think it's handled so incredibly well. It feels really organic.
Mm-hmm. I also want to shout out, since we've been talking about the cast, Monica Barbaro as Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
She was
great.
great. And
has she been in anything
Oh,
else?
look, I got her pulled up.
I didn't recognize her, but I thought, she was awesome.
She's been in a few.
She's in Unreal, which
budget things. It looks like
she's going to be in the Army of the Dead TV show.
Don't care.
What's something Luke will watch her in?
She was in the Lethal Weapon TV show.
But yeah, I love how all of them mesh together. Like all of these characters that we're talking about, Iceman and Phoenix and Bob, and how when there's Hangman, Hangman, not Iceman. How when they're sitting in a room, throwing shade at each other, or when they're in a plane working together, it all just clicks in a really pleasant way.
When we get into spoilers, I want to come back to the cast for a specific conversation.
Sure.
Because I think there's some really interesting stuff that happens down the stretch.
Well, we'll talk about spoilers here in a second. Did we have any cons? We've talked about some positives, some pros. Are there any cons for this movie? From you guys?
Not for me.
I've got.
I don't think so. I don't have any notes.
I've got some nitpicks, I guess.
I want to play fighter pilot football.
Heck yeah.
Like really bad.
Offense, defense at the same time.
Dude, that sounds awesome.
My con is like whatever the introduction was.
Oh, the
Dark Star stuff with the unmanned air, like it all felt super forced and unnecessary. And
I think that was just Tom Cruise feeling the need for speed,
Yeah, it like the rest of this movie is gold. It just felt like a really rough way to start the movie. Text on screen. Let's remind people this is Air Force. This is Top Gun. We're gonna have a montage with Danger Zone, and then we're going into this he's still a captain and he's head to head against the general. It all just kind of felt forced. At the end of the day, though, as soon as we get past that, the movie's phenomenal. It just was a weird intro for me.
I didn't have an issue with it. I thought it was beautiful.
I love the flying shots. The stuff when he's up in the air was awesome.
I also think just story-wise, it may have been for more people who haven't seen the first Top Gun.
Probably.
To show you that
Probably.
Maverick is a risk taker, and it hurts him most of the time.
Do you guys...
When he does flybys and pushes it farther than he should, it comes back to bite him a lot of times.
Do you guys know how fast Mach 10 is? In miles per hour?
Nope. A scary speed.
I'm going to say 3,500 miles per hour.
I have no idea.
Shot in the dark here.
700 miles per hour.
Oh boy, no, you're way off.
I told you, I have zero idea.
7,672 miles per hour. That's the speed of sound.
Wow.
I was half off.
That's insane. I wonder how fast he actually went.
So Dana pointed it out to me. Where they start, they're in San Diego, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning of the movie. when he hits like Mach 9, he's in Colorado. Like she was like watching the map. She's like, dude, he's already in Colorado, and he's been flying for like 4 minutes, and you're like, what? Dude, it's insane.
That's awesome.
Insane.
Do we want to give our ratings? Then we'll jump into some spoilers.
I don't. Did we actually?
We didn't talk about all your probably pros or cons. Another big pro, music.
I was gonna say score is like iconically good.
Score is phenomenal.
For a pro for me, like you kind of talked about tension earlier, but I think something needs to be said for a movie to give you so much tension and anxiety through it when you know what's going to happen. I think that makes the movie even better.
Yeah, the movie's not terribly unpredictable. It's not like it.
I think there's
throws
only like
curveballs, but it does. It, like you said, it does tension well.
I think there's one thing that we'll talk about in spoilers that I think is unexpected in this. But other than that, yeah, it's not hard to figure out what's going on.
No.
And I just put that the flying scenes are phenomenal. I think that's kind of almost goes without saying, but the Blue Angels assisted with this. Shout out Blue Angels. I watched them every year as a kid growing up at the air show on Pax River Naval Base. So it was really cool to find out that they were the ones behind the joysticks there. That's awesome.
Yeah, and like the cinematography. This goes back to the director mostly, but like the cinematography and how easy it is to understand what's going on in the planes, where they are in space, especially when you have 3 or 4 up on screen at once or that are flying and you're cutting intermittently between them all. It was good choreography.
Same guy who did Tron, Oblivion, and Life of Pi. And Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
For the cinematographer? Nice. Good movies. For cinematography, at least.
Yeah.
But yeah. Other pros before we rate?
All of it.
All of it. Love it.
I mean, he's right. All of it.
I'll just start, and you guys can follow because I'm sure you're gonna give the same thing I am, which is a booyah.
Yep, it's a booyah, for sure.
It is
one of the easiest booyahs I've ever given.
Super easy booyah. This movie is phenomenal, and if you haven't yet seen it and you're listening to this podcast or watching it, go watch it. Don't let us spoil anything from here on out. Just go turn this stream off, go watch it.
I'm going this week again.
I'm trying to figure out when I can go again.
Yeah.
I want to see it in 4DX.
I've heard Screen X would be cool.
Ooh, I bet it would. But that would be cool.
We might have to finally.
I know, right? It might be worth giving it a go.
It might. Okay, let's talk some spoilers real quick.
Spoilers.
What do you guys got?
Spoilers.
Val Kilmer making me cry.
I was emotional and crying off and on this whole movie. Do you guys remember when the first trailer for this came out? And I was like, I don't know what it is about this trailer, but it makes me emotional.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because it taps into like what I did as a kid all the time, watching air shows and stuff. But like,
it worked for you.
It worked. It hits every heartstring. And yes, Val Kilmer, dude. It like you're watching that scene, you're like, oh man, it's sad. It sucks. He's in bad health. And then he talks, and I was like, no, how dare you? How dare you, Val Kilmer? And I'm like leaning over in my chair, like, oh, this sucks so bad. Dana's looking at me like, you okay? Like tapping me on my leg. She's like, you all right? I'm like, man,
no, obviously not.
I'm sad. Yes, Val Kilmer made me cry. The bit after Maverick and Penny are talking after their escapades, and he's talking about being the father that Rooster didn't have, and I was just like, oh man. This is a lot. I'm a mess. I can't do this.
Heck, even just when he sneaks out the window and the daughter's just like,
don't break her heart.
Just don't break her heart again. Just like, ooh, how?
Yeah, there's There's a lot of that. And then, like, I guess we're just going to go on a highlight reel of all the emotional moments.
Let's do it.
When Rooster's trying to talk to him before they start the mission, and Maverick's like, nope.
Yeah.
Just when we get back. Like, we're not talking about this right now. We cannot go into the sky with these kind of, emotional feelings. When they meet each other after the crash, that scene is, like, super funny, but really good, like, emotion-wise.
I was going to say, this movie has a lot of good comedy in it, too. Like, our theater was laughing a lot.
Dude, when Tom Cruise, like, of course has to run. Like, we have to get plenty of Tom Cruise running scenes. But when he, like, runs up and just pushes Rooster down, I was like, I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't bad. Like, I just started laughing. I kind of belly laughed at that point. I was like, oh man, that's kind of surprising. Yeah, just all of it. All of it is so good. When he picks the team, I got emotional. It was so weird, man. When John Hamm turns from just complete the mission to bring our people home, I got teary-eyed again. It's like people...
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
I care about the characters, I think.
Yep.
A lot. When Hangman saves the day, got emotional again. I think, and this is what I wanted to talk about when we said you can kind of predict it. I definitely did not predict all of them surviving. I thought there was no way that
I thought Tom Cruise would be the one who
I thought
died.
I thought Fanboy was for sure dead. Because I was like, oh, well, because he doesn't pick Hangman.
Right.
Which I was like, oh, that's kind of surprising. But he'll be the character who gets called in off the sidelines for sure. He doesn't get called in off the sidelines. He probably does it on his own, but we don't get to see that. But my theory for that is, they talk about prior to the show, real G's, and we really were in these planes. I think the actors who got sidelined at the end are actors who couldn't handle it. And that's why they're not there. That's why Hangman's not there. Because I don't think Glenn Powell could handle it. Being in the plane when they're doing the mission.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So, like, when they were making this movie, they were like, we really, truly don't know who's going to be there at the end.
That's fascinating.
Until you
I wonder.
Figure out who can survive it. I can't wait for this to be out.
I mean, the storyline works perfectly.
It does.
If that's how they did that, like, props to crafting your narrative around that and those emotional beats around that. I mean, I think other than my guess is Rooster was in for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
but Miles Teller has been known to be, like, physically pretty fit.
Oh, yeah.
And willing to push himself pretty far.
Yeah.
So I bet he had to work at it pretty religiously to get there. But yeah, I think they would have found a way no matter what with him. But you could see the G's on their face.
Yeah.
Like, it was wild. Especially with Phoenix. Phoenix looked like a different person in a lot of those scenes.
Yeah.
Not because it was.
I think the part that was so unexpected for me was once Tom Cruise gets shot down. Once he got shot down, like, so early, I was like, oh, he's probably alive now. But I thought everybody would come back and save him.
Yeah.
And it was only Rooster.
He had his Maverick moment.
Like, oh, wow.
The dad he didn't have. He did what his dad did.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess the one thing that I was when the final save when Rooster and Mav are in the F-14 MiG M14 whatever, when Hangman comes in, I expected that to be 3 planes that come in, like the whole rest of the team comes in, but I understand. Hangman gets his moment.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's all good. No complaints. Just something I expected.
When he gets shot down and, like, the helicopter flies in and starts shooting at him, and then they're like, we're gonna go to the base and steal a plane. I was like, we were really towing that line of, like, devolving into a different movie for a bit, and I was like, we got to get out of here quick. Like, we got to get past this as fast as possible, because if we don't, we can get in the weeds a little bit. And I'm glad that they moved it very fast. They were
Yeah,
like, let's just move it. We're not going to have them fight people.
It
while
didn't
they're on the
evolve
base.
into a
No.
Mission Impossible-esque,
Which I was
type
so
of thing.
nervous it was going to.
They did.
I liked how they just were like running across the tarmac, and people are just like, "Oh, they're probably with us." They're just like, "We should probably run." But that led to probably my favorite action beat in the movie, just because it was really cool. It was really quick, and it was when they're just kind of waving to the Generation 5 pilots, and he just turns fast, shoots the one plane, and just gets rid of them real quick. And I was like, that is so cool.
Yeah, Miles Teller delivering that line of like,
1v1.
what would you do if I wasn't here?
Yeah.
Like, just do it.
Dude, I loved Miles Teller specifically. Anytime he's in the cockpit and they're like yelling commands, he's like, break right. Like his chatter is so good. It's really like good. Better than everybody else's, in my opinion. Yeah. His sounds so natural to me. Like everybody else, it sounds like kind of frantic, and like his sounds like what I would really imagine it sounding like in a gunfight in the sky.
Yeah. Oh, and it's like probably the one, not the one, but it's the biggest like CGI shot.
Yeah.
Is when it's like the pull away, and you finally like you see all of the planes like dodging the rockets, the anti-air missiles. You only get like one shot of it, but you see that chaos and you hear all of the chatter happening at once. It's so good.
I just cannot wait to sit down in the theater and watch it again for those moments.
Yeah.
I love like the scene we got before I think it was before Doctor Strange, when we got to see the first day of the flight school.
Yes.
Like, and you're hearing the chatter and you can hear them like, it's funny to watch it and think about it now, but like you can hear that the chatter is not quite the same. They don't know how to work together. They don't know how to talk together. And by the end, like everybody's in this one smooth line, and it's just so freaking good. It's so good. I love a good movie about team building.
Yeah.
They just always hit right here.
Oh, and that beach scene with the football.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
Perfect song choice too. Like,
yeah, it was awesome. I just see it again. And that's all I can say. I just want to get back in the seat at the theater and watch it
soon.
Did anybody else kind of, when they learned about the mission and what they were trying to do, just go or think the same as I did and go, "Oh, it's Star Wars"?
Oh.
I did not think that. No,
I didn't think of that. Oh, that's so funny.
And they're shooting in a tiny little.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
It's the first thing I thought of, and I was just like, "This might do Star Wars better than Star Wars than I think it did." Listen, I love A New Hope. I love it. But this might have done it better.
That's what needs to happen. I'm saying it now. I love Patty Jenkins, but let's vacate Rogue Squadron and give it to McQuarrie.
Oh. That would be fun.
Let's do it. I'm so here for this.
Oh man.
You didn't know you needed it, but now you do.
Now I do. Oh my gosh.
Love Patty. McQuarrie should get involved in that movie.
Well, he can write it. I think Patty Jenkins is an excellent director when she's got a good writer. I mean, there's the difference between Wonder Woman and 1984.
You're not wrong. Okay. Any final thoughts on Top Gun?
Go see it.
Yeah, go see it. And
it's awesome.
Prepare for intensity.
It's the second best movie of the year so far.
Prepare for intensity.
Yep.
Where I'm curious where this is on your of the year, Tyler.
It's only got one movie to beat.
Batman.
And
I like this more than
I have
Batman.
to see it again, but I think I do too. Mostly because it's like the Batman is fun, but not like this kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
I think so.
They're so different, right? Like they're totally
very different movies for sure.
So like, which one am I more likely to sit down and rewatch?
This is a way more rewatchable movie.
Yes,
for sure.
Glad we were getting to the same place there.
Yeah.
I think it is. I think I like it more than the Batman.
It's my number 2 movie.
What's your number 1?
Same.
Everything Everywhere.
I still haven't seen that yet. So
All at Once is. I don't know if anything will beat that movie.
I can't
here.
believe. I'm just so glad Luke loved that movie.
It's incredible. It blew my mind. Like, I can't wait for you to watch that, Tyler.
yeah, I'm buying that when it comes out for sure.
Okay, well, let's move on here before
we move on. I do have a question for you guys.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I apologize.
It's okay.
So how would we feel about another Top Gun movie?
Don't do
That's
it.
what I think
Don't
too.
do it.
That's what I think too. I don't think they should do it. But I was very curious to ask you guys this because I feel like you could very quickly move this into the franchise realm. It'd be very easy to do. It was worth the 36-year wait for me.
Here's a follow-up question: is Tom Cruise the lead in it again?
No.
That's
Okay,
that's
then-
where
then
that's
no.
why that's why I'm a little hesitant.
Luke and I are on the same page on this. This is awesome.
I think no as well. That said, I love Miles Teller. I would love to see him do something more in this as this character. I just don't know if it needs to be Top Gun branded. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with the way Rooster was written and how Goose has always been, I think he's just the expectation is that he's not the leading man. You know what I mean? Like he's the wingman.
Well then,
So you have to give him a new partner.
Well, I think you could do something interesting still with Hangman.
You could bring those two guys together, but you can't. He can't be in the next thing. He's got to be Barry Allen. He's going to be busy. He doesn't have time for Top Gun.
In reality, I would want another 36-year wait, and then I probably wouldn't see it because who would even be in it? I don't know.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise is spending time walking onto the runway to go.
No, I think it's good to end here.
I agree. No, this is a fantastic ending spot for this.
Yeah.
For Top Gun.
I agree. I think Tom Cruise doesn't even want to. I think he's after Mission Impossibles are done. I think he might be toning it down a little bit.
Think he may
He
retire.
is aging.
He's going back to some Jerry Maguire type roles.
I think you're right. He's a fantastic actor.
Yep.
I think he might lean more into the drama and probably comedies. I think he would want to keep jumping off buildings. I just think he knows he can't.
Yeah. I think
Body
he,
has
if
a limit.
anyone, knows his limits.
Dude, he looked so old in that little entry video for the movie
Oh.
where he's like, these were done in real jets and these are real G's. And I was like, yo, Tom Cruise has never looked so old in my life. He looked real old.
Brett told me.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. The fun fact is Tom Cruise is the same age as Ian McKellen was when they filmed Lord of the Rings.
That's not right. You're lying.
Please look it up.
Lord of the Rings was filmed
20 years
over
ago.
20 years ago.
Oh.
That is the most mind-blowing fact I've heard in so long. When you told me that, oh my
Just
god.
do the math. Let's see. Tom Cruise is
He's
59.
59.
He's 59. Ian
83.
83. So
Oh my gosh, you're right. Dude.
Isn't
That
that
sucks
insane?
to recognize, though. Because that makes me feel like Tom Cruise is not that far away from dying.
Oh. He's fine.
Dude, that dude's body.
He's a Scientologist. He'll live
Oh,
forever.
the lizard god will save him. Sorry, we don't need to go into that rabbit hole.
We're not here to discuss Scientology,
That's
are
what
we?
Tom Cruise will do after Mission Impossible. He's going to make movies about Scientology.
Oh.
Kind of like, Mark Wahlberg
God.
wants to make Catholic movies. Tom
There we
Cruise is
go.
going to make Scientology movies.
He would get
Oh,
a
boy.
lot of people to watch the first one.
Dude.
Just because it's the first one. And then after that, I think, yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
well, real quick, before we wrap up, we have 2 Fanbox questions. The first one is one that I proposed earlier, which is, what is going to be Netflix's first wide-release theatrical movie?
Like the actual movie?
Yeah, if there's one that if they've announced or you think, like, we talked about The Gray Man being a $200 million movie. Like, is there a chance that it either doesn't do well on Netflix and it gets, like, critically good reviews, but it doesn't bring in subscribers, so they push it out? Or is there a director out there who maybe would have written a theatrical clause into their movie?
You know the answer.
I know the answer to this. I just want you to say it.
It's Knives Out 2.
Yeah, it is, baby.
It has to be.
It's gotta be. You don't spend, I mean, Netflix maybe does, but you don't spend $400+ million on 2 movies and be like, they're just on our streaming service.
It's probably going to be Rebel Moon.
Oh, gosh. But, again, I could see that because it's Snyder and it's a big sci-fi movie. If they want to try and compete with Star Wars, you gotta release it.
Good joke.
I
Gundam.
know. Gundam. Yeah, no, I think it's not. I think
Actually,
it's Knives Out too.
100%. I think it's The Gray Man. I think
think
it'll
it
be the
will?
first one.
Yeah. I mean, they're gonna have a heck of a time promoting that here in the next month. They got 6 weeks before that comes out, so
It'll be a big old
big
surprise.
old-
It'll be like,
maybe.
Yeah.
All right, and then our last Fanbox question comes from Patrick. Patrick asks us to. Oh, Luke, this would be way easier if you were here because you could look at the list. You might want to get a pen and paper down to write these down.
I don't have that.
Actually, okay. Choose two.
I'll
There's
remember.
there's a list of characters here. It's quite a lengthy list. You have to choose 2 to protect you from the other 10. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, the characters are Luke Skywalker, Harry Potter, Iron Man, Batman, Wolverine, Wonder Woman, Kratos, Master Chief, John Wick, Gandalf, Pennywise, and number 5 from the Umbrella Academy.
I'm gonna go Wolverine and Harry Potter. Wolverine can't die, and Harry Potter has a spell that can kill.
I think Harry Potter is a pretty easy choice for me as well. I'm gonna go chaotic evil here and just let Pennywise go to town on anyone who tries to come after me.
Pennywise can just shapeshift into you.
Whatever they fear most.
Or you.
Or me.
If they're trying to kill you, they must be scared of something you're doing.
That's right.
And so then everybody will spend their time trying to kill Pennywise.
Tyler, do you have a choice?
Wolverine and Batman.
Wolverine and Batman? Good choices. Good
Batman
choices.
can plan to stash me away so I won't get found, and he's got the money to do that, and Wolverine can't die. Same reasoning Luke did. Wolverine will just keep killing them over and over again.
I feel like a lot of times Deadpool's on this list too.
Oh.
And if he was on this list too, I would have chose Wolverine and Deadpool because they both
Yeah.
die.
Honorable
Yeah.
mention Kratos.
Yeah, actually,
Dude kills gods. Like, he'll be fine killing these people.
Patrick's choice is
Yeah.
Kratos and Luke Skywalker. So
Luke Skywalker could just be my friend. Like, him and I'll hang out while Kratos goes and kills everyone. Kratos and Wolverine.
Am I getting
Change my
Mandalorian season 2, Luke? Am I getting, Kenobi episode 1, Luke?
If you're getting Last Jedi, Luke,
Are
he's
you
just gonna
getting-
say "F you." Go figure it out
Exactly.
yourself.
I don't want
You're
Last
getting
Jedi,
Obi-Wan
Luke.
Kenobi, Luke.
You're getting Obi-Wan Kenobi, Luke. So just like the kid.
Yeah,
not
the pod
choos-
racer.
10 years
I'm
old.
not choosing that, Luke.
ignoring his chores.
Yeah, just going off and
How
throwing the whip in the
irresponsible of him.
main.
Kids. All right.
No joke. I'd probably choose 10-year-old Leia. She'd whoop freaking butt.
Yeah,
She
dude.
just.
She would demolish you with snarky comments.
That's right.
He'd be like, "I'm going to destroy you," and she'd be like, "Your haircut's fine." Run off.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of another episode. Thank you all for tuning in on Twitch to watch us live and hang out with us in the chat. Seabolt, it was great to see you this week. But if you watch us on YouTube or listen to the podcast, we appreciate you all equally as well. Dude, the summer's just getting started, and we're gonna have a bunch of awesome reviews coming up. So stay tuned.
Jurassic Park?
Oh, can't wait!
What did he say?
Jurassic Park.
Oh,
or
yeah.
World.
June 10th.
June 10. So, yeah, we'll see you back here next week. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you.